Hello and welcome. You are watching the Avatar Sethi show and I am Dr. Avatar Singh Sethi. With me is Ms.Neha Kumar. We are both IELTS trainers, masterclass IELTS trainers from British Council, and today we are starting a series on IELTS without tears. Why we say about without tears is because we want to make it very simple for you to understand and score a good band. In fact, when you go out to certain trainers who are not qualified to teach and you spend a lot of money, rather you waste a lot of money and time. So therefore, we want to make it very simple for you and we want to tell you everything about IELTS and that too without tears. So today we are going to take the first module which is writing. Before that, let me tell you that there are 4 modules in IELTS. One is writing, reading, listening and speaking. So these are the 4 modules and we will take up the writing module today. So welcome Neha.
Hello, sir.
And tell us about writing. What are the various different sections of writing, both for the general training and for the students who are going for higher studies outside?
Yes, for sure. So, writing, IELTS writing is certainly a area where the most of the students face a lot of problems because writing is something that you have to take it out from you. You have to write your ideas into it, right? And it's like if I'm talking about IELTS writing, it's not something that what is coming into your mind and you write because it is a very structured based writing.
That means that knowing English is not enough.
Exactly.
There has to be a specific teaching for IELTS. Even if you know good English, you have to know how to score good bands in IELTS.
Yes, good English, knowing having a good knowledge in English is a plus point.
Plus point.
But if you think that being a good, being good in English and you can score a good band in writing, so this is what we have to exclude it, right? So because IELTS writing is a very structured writing, they want to present your ideas very structurally, and moreover, it is having a word limit. So you can't write whatever is coming to your mind, right? There is a proper structures that we all need to follow. So that we are going to talk in our upcoming videos. What should be an IELTS structure writing is
Yes.
known as.
And also, some people mug up certain things, like an
Yes.
essay, you mug up an essay and then you try to reproduce that, whether it is required there or not. That is also wrong. So you have to exactly understand what is writing about and how to go about it.
Exactly. So mugging up, so we should have to rule out,
Yes.
right? So it's just a matter of luck. Whatever you have learned, you have got it, right? But learning is not a thing in IELTS writing that we should go for. So first of all, I would like to tell you that we have 2 modules of IELTS. One is academic modules and one is general. So academic is for the students, is actually basically for the students who wants to study abroad, right? So they want to take an admission in a university and their purpose is go there for studying. Whereas for the general is for the people who wants their PR. Right,
Neha,
for the
I
work.
want to add something to it, I know that some students go to other countries without taking IELTS here in India, and there are some agents who say that we'll get you the visa, you can take up IELTS in the foreign country. Never, never ever do that, because that can cause so many problems. You will have to clear IELTS in the foreign country, which becomes very difficult. So don't do that and pass your IELTS exam here in India itself.
Yeah, so what they do, they just add on another course with your course, that first do this English language course and then. So IELTS is something that you should, if you want to plan to go abroad or settle abroad, you should get it clear here in India before going. So that would be the best thing. So first of all, we'll take about IELTS writing for the general module.
Right. So first of all, we are taking up the writing module, and in that we are talking of the general.
General one. So if I talk about writing, writing means that they want to see, as I've talked about, that how do you flow your, how do you current Represent your ideas. What is the flow? What is the structure? Because there are the parameters on which they are going to give you the band. So having the knowledge of those parameters is also very essential. So first of all, we'll talk about like what is there in IELTS writing in the general module. General is of the first is your task 1, which is a letter writing, and the task 2, which is essay writing. If I talk about task 1, so the duration of the test in total is 1 hour. And you now need to divide, see 1 hour, you need to write, you have to do the 2 tasks. And now it depends that which mode the student has opted for. By mode, I mean pen paper based test or a computer based test.
Or the online test.
Yeah, online. Computer based is actually you need to type whatever you have done on a computer screen. And on a pen paper base, it's like a school paper test. The pen and the sheet will be provided to you, and you need to do the pen paper based test on that sheet. Remember that sheet has this sheet we are going to show you is task 1 sheet and task 2 sheet. So attempt your task 1 in the task 1 sheet and a task 2 in your task 2 sheet only. So do not mug up the 2 sheets. So we are going to show you the sheets as well.
And another thing, Neha, I want to come in here. We are generally used to taking paper test, and it is always advisable, if you have never taken an online test, try to avoid that and try to take up the writing test, paper pen based test. What do you say?
Yes, definitely. Sir, if you are not good at typing and your speed is very slow, so you will not be able to type the word limit that is being prescribed in that stipulated time.
Right.
So it will be, you either end up by leaving something, or you end up by, sometimes the students even leave the one task if they are not good at their typing. So it is very advisable that choose a test based on your skills only, in which you are. So let your trainer take the suggestion from a trainer that you are taking training from. Which test should I give, and give a mock on both before deciding.
That's good idea, yes. And then you go about the further, how you prepare for that and all that.
Yes, exactly.
So, what is the first step that they should take?
So first is that, so if I talk about task 1, it is a letter writing task in the general module. The task is you should complete the task within the 20 minutes, It has a word limit of 150 to 180 maximum. Please do not exceed your word limit. If you exceed, here in IELTS writing, it doesn't mean write more and score more.
You don't have to be exact. If it is 150, you may go up to 160 or something, but don't try to be to write less than 150.
Yes, less than 150, there is other parameters on which there is some negative marking in as well.
Yeah.
So we are going to discuss about it later. But before that, you should fix your word limit, that it should be ideally around 150 to 180. It shouldn't be less than 150 and it shouldn't be more than 180. However, getting 20 or 30 words extra is until you are on the task. So it's not a big deal, right? You can manage to finish that. And if I talk about letter writing, now task 1 we are first talking about. It is, as we told you, about the word limit and the time, that is 20 minutes. Now what is letter? In IELTS, what is letter writing? Letter writing is proper, they will give you one topic on which has 3 to 4 bullet points. Those are the helping points which you need to cover in your writing. So if I talk about letter, the first line that you will read is your letter topic, the sentence, that it's a main thing that on which you have to write a letter. After that, there are few things which are called bullet points in letter writing. We need to cover all the bullet points. It should be very prescribed and very clear what you are writing. Right? Because, why I am saying so? Because there are 4 parameters on which your examiner is going to assess you. So first we will talk about the parameters, like what are these parameters on which we are going to get our band. The first parameter is our task achievement.
That's right, yeah.
Right. Task achievement means that you have covered all the parts of the letter. your introduction, your purpose of writing a letter, your bullet points are properly covered in all the body paras.
So that means you, when you know what you have to write, you know the bullet points, just frame the ideas in your mind before putting it on the sheet.
Yes, so for that we will advise you to have a 5 minutes of planning, because writing 150 to 180 words would not take you more than 10 to 15 minutes, right? If you are good at your typing, or if you are good at your pen and paper writing, so it will not take you more than 15 to 10 to 15 minutes. So that 5 minutes you should make a plan.
And Neha, also, we will come to it later also. Right now I'm telling the viewers that you have to write in a letter 4 paragraphs, let's say. So 4 paragraphs are divided in a way that first of all you refer to something and then so on. So we'll tell you about it, but if you know this thing and you frame the ideas in your mind, then it will be easy for you to put the ideas on the paper.
Exactly. This is what is, we should ideally do. So if I talk about that, what is the do's and don'ts of the letter? First
That's
of
very
all,
important.
yeah, you should know your letter. Knowing your letter means there are actually 3 types of letter. If I talk about, one is a formal letter, second is a semi-formal letter, and third is a informal letter. Now, formal means that you are writing to a person. So today we'll talk about the letter we are going to pick is a formal letter. Formal letter means you are writing. How do you know that? Which type of letter it is? By reading the question. First of all, understand that what is my letter type? Because my letter type would decide my tone of my letter, right?
Yeah.
So, do's and don'ts, it is very important to follow the tone.
Yes, and once you know that, then you know how to address the person.
Yes, address the person. But if I talk about don'ts, so then IELTS writing, we do not have a address in the letter writing. We do not put any subject. Only we start the letter with a salutation, and that salutation depends upon the tone.
Right.
Right. So if it is a formal letter, so you are advised to start dear sir and madam. They have their fixed format. If it is an informal letter, so you can start with dear friend, whatever you are writing to,
Yeah,
friend or
dear
relative.
Mr. So and so,
Yeah.
or Miss So and so.
And if you are writing to somebody like a semi-formal, so you know that person, right? For example, if you are writing to a post officer or some complaining to the very top of the company, CEO or a editor, you don't know their name. So that will come under a formal letter. If you know the person name, like for a manager, your manager in which you are you are working with, that is a semi-formal letter. And your friends and mates or something like that, that is informal letter. So we decide our salutation depending upon the type of letter.
So this is important. You know the salutation once you know whether it's a formal letter or informal letter.
Yes. And after that, the first thing that all the IELTS writers follows is an introduction. Introduction means the purpose of writing the letter.
Right.
Right. So why you are writing this letter? So your purpose should be very clearly mentioned. If it is a formal letter, you start that I am writing this letter to acknowledge you. So these are the few phrases that are flashing on our screen. You can see that they are like about, why, what is the purpose of writing? How can I start with my letter, formal letter with, and the semi-formal letter with? After the mentioning the purpose very clearly, you now have to work on your bullet points, like bullet point 1, bullet point 2 and bullet point 3. What is the topic in that bullet point? Cover that only. But it shouldn't be that sometimes the students do one thing, they cover one bullet point in a very long sentences,
Yes.
and when it comes to the later ones, they feel that now they are exceeding the word limit. They just stop writing and write very less into this.
Yeah.
So this will deter your score in task achievement.
Right.
Then there should be a closing statement, and then there should be a sign off. So when you actually want to score high in your task achievement, all these elements should be there in your letter writing.
Yeah, you have to justify that you don't have to write more about one and less about the other one.
Exactly.
It should be equally divided, or if it is If you know the purpose, then you know where to write little more or little less.
Yes, and then if I talk about the second thing, how can we score high, is a cohesion and coherence. Now, what is cohesion and coherence? Cohesion and coherence means that your ideas are flowing into one another.
Right.
You are not beating around the bush, and whatever is coming in your mind is not, your one idea is not matching with another idea, and you are not able to correlate to few things.
Yes, you don't jump. You have to cohesively write in a way that it is like flowing water. So you have to write like that. You have to be cohesive.
Yes, and you have to use certain cohesive devices. Like there are so many. If you are, for example, if you are giving a contrasting idea, so which cohesive device we can use? Moreover, however, if you are adding something, so you can use some certain cohesive device furthermore in addition to this. So this will make your one idea connected with your other ideas, and this is a proper parameter. So the third parameter is grammar, range and accuracy. Now grammar, as we know, is the backbone of any language. So importance of grammar cannot be ignored. Yes.
And you get marks on that.
Yes.
And marks are deducted if the grammar is not correct.
If we are doing a lot of grammatical mistakes, that shows that we are not skilled in our language, right? So grammar, range. So range means that you should have number of sentences like exclamatory, complex sentences, compound sentences. So with that, we are going to tell you in our upcoming videos that how to make complex sentences, how to add the compound sentences. The fourth parameter is a very important, that is a lexical resource, in which most of the students lose their marks because they keep on repeating the verb. Lexical means vocabulary.
So you have to know the synonyms.
Yes.
You don't continue repeating the same word again.
And I would like to say, sir, that word deleted in IELTS is, word repeated in IELTS is like a word deleted.
Right.
So rather than that, so use synonyms appropriately. Not only mucking up the words, knowing the words or using the words without knowing their meanings. So these are the 4 parameters.
Right. Friends, we have talked about writing, and we'll continue with writing in our next episode also. And we would like you to write your questions to us, whatever you want to say, in the comment box below. And please subscribe our channel if you have not done so far. And we will meet you in the next episode on writing. And then thereafter we will take up the other modules also. Thank you very much.